Welcome to the Think Forward podcast, where we speak with futurists, innovators, and big thinkers. Come along with your host, Steve Fisher, and explore the future together.
Welcome back to Foundations in Foresight, a Think Forward series. I'm Steve Fisher, and today, we're concluding our multi-part exploration into world building and the transition from the imaginative exercise of building fictional futures to practical strategic insights for your real-world decisions. We've been on quite a journey through the world building process within our Spectrum Foresight method, and now it's time to tie it all together, bridging the creative and strategic in ways that truly make an impact. Let's get real about something up front. This isn't just about creating fantastical futures for the sake of telling good stories. Although, let's be honest, that's a great bonus. The real magic here is taking the vibrant worlds you've carefully constructed, the scenarios you've thoughtfully built out, and then translating all of this creative richness into actionable strategies that guide your decisions, your organization, your career, and even your personal life. Think of this process like making a map of unknown territory. Sure, it's exciting to explore new lands, envision worlds with unlimited possibilities, and invent futuristic societies, technologies, and infrastructures. But what good is a map if you don't know how to read it or where it can take you? What good is the careful construction of alternative futures if it doesn't inform how you move forward today? The truth is, world building is both art and strategic science. And in this final chapter of our world building journey, we're bridging fiction and strategy to give your futures practice genuine depth and impact. First, let's talk about why translating world building into strategic insights matters. You see, the work of world building, the meticulous attention to detail, the effort to construct complex, interconnected systems, is fundamentally about cultivating foresight. And foresight, as we've discussed, isn't about predicting a single definitive future. Rather, it's about exploring and preparing for a range of possible futures, and then leveraging those explorations to make better decisions today. Here's why this matters so much in practice. When you build future worlds, you're forced to deal with ambiguity and complexity. You have to make educated guesses. You need to navigate trade-offs. You uncover potential challenges before they arise, and this gives you an incredible strategic advantage. But to gain that advantage, you need to bridge the gap between the imaginative process of world building and the pragmatic demands of real-world decision-making. Throughout this series, we've talked extensively about creating vivid future worlds, driven by powerful super shifts like digital transformation, sustainability, and shifting societal values. We've illustrated daily life, imagined cultural evolutions, and even designed tangible artifacts to bring these future scenarios to life. But today, our focus shifts towards something crucial: how to extract clear, actionable strategies from these vividly imagined futures. Let's walk through an example to bring this to life. Imagine you've created a scenario for your industry in which AI-driven automation has completely reshaped your workforce. You've imagined advanced robotics, AI systems that coordinate seamlessly with human counterparts, and you've even constructed a future company that operates at the intersection of technology and human ingenuity. Now ask yourself, what does this mean for you, right now, today? What do these insights compel you to do differently? By exploring this scenario deeply, you might realize a few things. Perhaps it highlights a gap in your organization's current skill sets. Perhaps it underscores the urgency of reskilling your teams, investing in AI literacy, or even partnering with technology startups. Perhaps you identify vulnerabilities in your current business model, areas that simply aren't prepared for that kind of technological upheaval. Or maybe it inspires new opportunities for innovation you hadn't previously considered, leading you to rethink your strategic roadmap. Let's consider another scenario shaped by sustainability, where communities prioritize resource sharing, sustainable technologies, and ecological literacy. What concrete strategic decisions does this suggest for your organization right now? Perhaps it indicates investment in sustainable technologies, partnerships with circular economy initiatives, or new educational programs emphasizing ecological responsibility. The scenario isn't just a vision, it's a strategic tool, guiding immediate decisions and investments that align with future possibilities. Here's the beauty of this practice. World building lets you pre-experience futures, immersing yourself deeply enough that they feel vivid, believable, and visceral. When a future feels that real, your strategic insights become clearer, sharper, more actionable. You no longer debate hypothetically, you act intentionally. But how do we systematically pull these insights out of our fictional futures? To make this practical, I recommend a simple yet powerful three-step process. I call it the extract, evaluate, execute method. Let's dive into step 1, extract. After immersing yourself in a constructed world, pause to capture insights. Extract key trends, signals, innovations, cultural shifts, or societal changes that emerged. It might feel natural to jot down interesting ideas as you go, but now take a deliberate moment to formally document them. Write down what surprised you, what excited you, what worried you, and what you found especially relevant to your current context. The aim here is clarity. You're not judging these insights yet, merely pulling them out of the world you've built and making them explicit. Next, we move into step 2, evaluate. Here, your goal is to sift through these extracted insights and determine their significance and impact. Ask yourself, is this insight plausible or improbable? How soon could this insight emerge? What would it mean if this insight were to materialize? Who would it affect? Is it relevant to your organization or personal circumstances? This is a critical point in your transition from imagination to strategy. You need to distinguish between interesting and strategically relevant insights. You don't need to chase every idea, but you must recognize the ones with strategic leverage with clear implications for your future. Now, let's finish the cycle with step 3, execute. This is where things get real, where your imaginative exploration turns into concrete decisions and actionable strategies. For each relevant insight you identified, outline clear next steps, create tangible actions. For instance, returning to our earlier AI example, perhaps your action item is to implement a workforce reskilling program focused on digital literacy within 6 months, or maybe it's building strategic partnerships with cutting-edge AI companies. Perhaps you commit to reviewing your innovation strategy quarterly to accommodate rapid technological advancements. Execution is all about turning your foresight into operational advantage. The reason this approach works so well is that it transforms speculative imagination into a disciplined strategic practice. You can run this extract, evaluate, execute cycle regularly as a part of your strategic planning process. Over time, this creates a culture of foresight, helping your teams become adept at anticipating and responding to change. Communication is also crucial when moving from fiction to strategy. Your scenarios must inspire and engage stakeholders, but they must also clearly illustrate why these futures matter strategically and what practical actions should be considered. Tailor your communication effectively for diverse stakeholders. Business leaders might require clear implications for market positioning, innovation strategies, or operational planning. Community leaders might need insights related to education, community resilience, or social cohesion. Clearly illustrating these strategic implications ensures your stakeholders see immediate relevance and practical value in your foresight work. Foster rich strategic discussions based on your scenarios. Your scenarios shouldn't be static illustrations. They're dynamic conversation starters, inviting stakeholders into meaningful dialogues about future possibilities, strategic priorities, and necessary adaptations. Facilitate scenario workshops or strategic dialogues, where stakeholders engage deeply with your future worlds. Encourage participants to identify potential challenges, opportunities, innovations, or strategic partnerships suggested by each scenario. These dialogues transform your foresight practice from imaginative exercise into strategic catalyst, inspiring collective insight, innovation, and action. I'll share a personal story about the power of world building and how it turned into strategic insight. Several years ago, I worked with a healthcare organization that was skeptical about digital health. They couldn't see it going mainstream. They thought it was too far out, too futuristic. Through a world-building exercise, we imagined a world where telehealth was the norm, where healthcare became more decentralized and patient-centered. At first, this felt like science fiction to them, but through the world-building process, they identified early signals that telehealth could quickly become mainstream. They saw how customer expectations were shifting, how technology was advancing, and how regulatory changes were creating new possibilities. By using world building as a strategic tool, they not only imagined this future, they prepared for it. They developed a telehealth pilot program ahead of many competitors. Fast forward just a couple of years and telehealth has become the standard in healthcare. The organization was not only ready, they were already ahead. They had bridged fiction to strategy and it fundamentally changed their strategic trajectory. Another crucial aspect of moving from fiction to strategy is prioritizing actionable next steps. Future scenarios can suggest many potential actions or innovations, but prioritizing these strategically is essential. Clearly identify which actions or innovations align most closely with your strategic objectives, resources, and immediate opportunities. Consider using prioritization frameworks or strategic criteria to guide this process. For example, assess actions based on strategic impact, resource feasibility, stakeholder support, or immediate strategic alignment. Then, integrate these prioritized actions directly into your organizational or community strategic planning. Throughout this process, Remain flexible and adaptive. Strategic foresight is inherently dynamic, continuously informed by emerging trends, signals, and strategic realities. Regularly revisit your scenarios and strategies, ensuring they remain relevant, actionable, and strategically valuable. Flexibility ensures your foresight practice remains responsive, relevant, and practically impactful. Here's another powerful idea. Share your worlds with others. Engage your team or your stakeholders in this process. When you involve other perspectives, you enrich your insights. Each person brings their experiences, biases, and expertise into the conversation. This broader conversation helps you test and validate your strategic assumptions, challenge your blind spots, and discover new opportunities you may have overlooked. And remember, this is not a one-time exercise. World building, when done right, is an ongoing strategic practice. It's a skill that grows stronger with regular use. It allows your organization to remain nimble, adaptive, and strategically ahead of the curve. This is the power of world building in action. It's not just about imagination. It's about informed strategic foresight that lets you prepare for multiple futures. It allows you to recognize opportunities that others miss and to build strategic resilience that gives you a competitive edge. So, here's my challenge to you. Take one of the worlds you've built in our previous episodes. Run through the extract, evaluate, execute method. Extract your insights, evaluate their relevance, and create concrete actions. Share this exercise with colleagues or friends. Make it collaborative. You'll be surprised at the clarity, confidence, and strategic advantage it brings. Looking ahead, our next episode will explore how to effectively measure and communicate the strategic impact of your foresight practice. We'll discuss practical strategies for demonstrating the value and effectiveness of your foresight work, clearly illustrating its strategic relevance, innovation impact, and decision-making effectiveness. The future, as we like to say here, belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. And with your growing skills in world building, you're becoming precisely that kind of visionary. Remember, the future is not a far-off distant place. It's a space we create with every action we take today. Thanks for joining me on this journey through world building. I hope you feel ready to turn your imaginative explorations into powerful, impactful strategies. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and always think forward.
Thanks for listening to the Think Forward podcast. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms and at www.thinkforwardshow.com, as well as on YouTube under Think Forward Show. See you next time.